Well, here's a fun one for the AMC fans, this 1977 AMC Matador sedan. This was the penultimate year for the Matador in its second generation. It came out in 1971, and the first generation ran from 71 to 73. This is the second generation, which ran from 74 to 78. So this is the second to last year, and they only had these pillared sedans by this point. But they did come standard with some snazzy plaid seating, as you can see here. And albeit some decor groups even made, and the wonderful AMC kind of cardboardy headliner that only an AMC owner can describe, or owners of Chryslers during that period. They had kind of a similar cardboardy feel headliner. And while that plaid is certainly sweet, AMC did offer a number of designer editions for the Matador, including an Oleg Cassini edition, as well as a Barcelona trim, which came on this sedan as an option in two color combinations, like a burgundy, and then there was also a tan. And I kind of kicked myself because I passed up a burgundy one that was in mint condition not all that long ago, but oh well. In any case, the Matador in 74 received some new styling in these big bumpers and the coffin nose style hood that you see here. And I believe that what AMC was trying to do is use the same fenders from 71, or similar blanks at least from 71 to 73 on the 74 to 78, but meet the bumper impact and crash standards, which had strengthened significantly to the point that there was now a 5-mile-an-hour impact standard in the front and rear. And I don't think that the car with its original structure, absent the coffin nose, could have made it. So kind of similar to what GM did with their U-Vans in, about 20 years ago. They had to put an extra long snout on them to help them crash. I believe that's what happened here with the Matador. So it gave it this interesting face only a mother could love, I guess, look, if you will. And while it's certainly a homely car, it's kind of homely in a fun way. These rode atop a 118-inch wheelbase. By this point, the sedans and coupes had different wheelbases. In the first 71 to 73 generation, they did not. But the sedans here were on a 118-inch wheelbase. The coupes were on a 114-inch wheelbase. And interestingly, while that was pretty much an intermediate size when the car was first introduced, remember that in 1977, General Motors introduced their downsized full-size car lineup, where the Caprice and Bonneville, as an example, had the wheelbase shrink to 116 inches. So this, what was once an intermediate, was over top of a full-size Caprice Bonneville in terms of size. Very, very similar, and the packaging was not as favorable in this Matador. It was just getting long in the tooth, didn't have as much interior room as the GM full-size cars of the time. But by 1977, more comforts were coming standard, like power steering, power disc brakes, and look at the body fits on that door right there. I mean, I know people say that my Eagle, the one gap has been hit or something in the front. No, this is how they built the cars. Look at the gap on the back door, how tight it is compared to the front. And then you have this kind of crudely stamped piece of stainless here. Look at how wavy that is around the curves. Right at eye level as you open the door as well. Very crude. You would never get away with that today. But again, that's how these cars were built. And look at the gap at the front of the door, too. Tight. Well, in any case, let's not pigeonhole this. Otherwise, the AMC fans are going to lambast me. And by the way, I do enjoy AMCs. I've had a number of them over the years. I think that's it. They just have interesting manufacturing. I was pointing out there the seam in the roof drip rail as well that they've got a little cover over. Take a look at the back bumper and how far it protrudes. Again, by this year, there was a 5-mile-an-hour impact standard front and rear. So a lot of cars, not just AMCs, had these big bumpers. But these are arguably not that well integrated, and the contours of the bumper don't really fit the contours of the car overall, so to speak. Now, in the first generation, the Matador and the Ambassador shared a lot of sheet metal from the windshield back, and the fronts were different. But by this point, the Ambassador, in the second generation, the Ambassador continued for a few years. At this point, there was only the Matador left, and the Matador and the Ambassador in the second generation shared a lot of sheet metal. They really spent more of the money differentiating the swoopy coupe for use in NASCAR racing and giving it some very unconventional styling. And the sedan retained this kind of homely, conventional styling with the coffin nose. And while the coupe was not a commercial success, the individual who really spearheaded its development, his name was Jerry Myers. He was the vice president of AMC product planning during this time period, later became the chairman and CEO of AMC, and was the individual who was responsible for forming the Renault partnership. And that Renault partnership later birthed the Eagle Premier, which was sold from 1988 to 1992, which formed in some part to the basis for the LH platform cars, including Chrysler robbed AMC's, if you will, vice president of engineering, Francois Castin, and he was Chrysler's vice president of engineering during that time period. So AMC had a lot of talented engineers. They really had so little money to do anything that the next step was that they were going to have to do everything with nothing. And from what I've heard, when they became part of Chrysler, they thought that they had found a rich parent, which is kind of humorous, especially when you think about Chrysler during that period, although they were having more success after the minivan had took off. In any case, this Matador would soldier on for 1977 and 1978. By 1977, on the powertrain front, there was the AMC's trusty 258 cubic inch 6, 304 two-barrel V8, and a 360 two-barrel V8. There were no four-barrel V8s available any longer. And in 1978, the 304 would be dropped as well. In 1977, AMC also had the buyer protection plan, and they increased the warranty coverage on the powertrain from 12 months, 12,000 miles, to 24 months, 24,000 miles, which is kind of humorous when you think about what some of the powertrain warranties are on particularly the Korean cars, 10 years, 100,000 miles for a number of years, or even Chrysler in the 80s was at 5 years, 60,000 miles for some time. But that was pretty revolutionary for the time frame. Most cars came with 12 months, 12,000 mile bumper-to-bumper coverage. So anything beyond that was pretty good. Interestingly, that buyer protection plan coverage reverted back to 12 months, 12,000 miles on the powertrain in 1978. So somebody in the finance department must have done an analysis saying that there wasn't the benefit for the cost of the program. In any case, hope you enjoyed this brief look at a 1977 AMC Matador. Thanks for watching. Stay warm and take care. Thanks for watching this video about a very stylish 1977 AMC Matador. Please like and subscribe the video. You can subscribe by clicking the circular icon of the 67 Riviera at the top left. Check out the videos at the bottom left and the playlist at the bottom right. And be sure if you subscribe to hit the bell so that you're notified of any of my future videos. Once again, thanks for watching and take care.